Hi, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Savage, and I am a fellow with the Disaster Relief Project of Legal Aid of North Carolina. And I'm here today to talk to you about long-term recovery issues that you may be experiencing. Our agenda for today will be to talk a little bit about Legal Aid of North Carolina, and specifically about who the Disaster Relief Project is and who we service, the phases of recovery, disaster legal issues, and long-term recovery issues, and how to contact Legal Aid of North Carolina, and some upcoming disaster relief project events that we have scheduled. Legal Aid of North Carolina is a statewide nonprofit law firm that provides free legal services in civil matters to low-income populations in order to ensure equal access to justice and to remove legal barriers to economic opportunity. We are one of the largest law firms in the state of North Carolina, and Legal Aid of North Carolina is still fully operational during COVID-19, and we are here to help. You can apply online, or you can call our helpline, and I will discuss how to contact us in more detail later on. Our practice areas include, but are not limited to, housing, unemployment, domestic violence advocacy, Social Security and other benefit programs, education, consumer, expunctions, and disaster relief. I specifically chose this photo for a couple of reasons today. This is a photo of Hurricane Florence, a satellite image at the time that it was approaching the North Carolina coast in 2018. Some of you may still be experiencing the recovery issues from Hurricane Florence, and we'll talk more about how to overcome those issues today. Legal Aid's Disaster Relief Project provides free legal assistance to disaster survivors, including survivors of Hurricanes Matthew, Florence, and Dorian. We partner with state and local agencies, such as the North Carolina Emergency Management and long-term recovery groups in your area. We are here to assist with an equitable recovery process across Eastern North Carolina. This chart shows the recovery continuum, which is sourced from FEMA's National Disaster Recovery Framework. It visually shows disaster phases and the interconnectedness of recovery activities from pre-incident through the long term. The recovery continuum also highlights the reality that for a community faced with significant and widespread disaster impacts, preparedness, response, and recovery are not and cannot be separate and sequential efforts. The first phase here is preparedness. And as you can see, it is ongoing. Decisions made and priorities set by a community pre-disaster and early in the recovery process have a cascading effect on the nature, speed, and inclusiveness of recovery. The next phase is a short-term recovery. This is likely to be only a couple of days, but maybe weeks depending on how severe the disaster was. The next phase is intermediate recovery. And lastly, we have long-term recovery, which can span over months to years. Many of you experiencing Hurricane Florence recovery are in this phase right now. The reality is that many North Carolinians are still in this phase for hurricanes that have impacted North Carolina years ago. There are various disaster legal issues that are most commonly associated with certain phases of recovery. However, these issues and phases can and often overlap with each other. In short-term recovery, the primary focus is to get individuals connected to essential services. So you would be applying for FEMA assistance, applying for disaster loans, disaster unemployment. You may have specific landlord-tenant questions in the moment. You need to present your insurance claims. And essential documents replacement is extremely important during this time because you will need them as you continue through the recovery phases. Intermediate recovery. You may experience some appeals of denials if you were denied assistance. You may need to renew subsidies. And you may have evictions and private lease terminations and repair questions. Also in this phase, you're going to start experiencing insurance claim disputes, and you may be experiencing consumer price gouging and other consumer issues such as scams. And unfortunately, home repair scams and contractor scams is a common issue after disasters that our office has seen quite a bit. And finally, in long-term recovery, the issues here tend to be things like bankruptcies, foreclosures. You may be involved with the Rebuild North Carolina program, considering a buyout option, FEMA recoupments, which is where FEMA is attempting to recoup or take back money that it had previously provided to you. You may have some civil and disability rights cases as well. And this is where community-based organizations get to provide input on rebuilding plans as well. We are hopeful that North Carolina will soon be able to begin using recovery funds through the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development's, or HUD, Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Program to implement Hurricane Florence recovery programs through the state's Rebuild NC program. What is important for Hurricane Florence survivors to know right now is that you are ahead, and there are things that you can be doing now to prepare yourself for this process. We, with the Disaster Relief Project, can help you with getting prepared for the rebuild process. And while we are all staying at home in response to COVID-19, this may be a good time to get some documents in order. And while we prepare for rebuild, there are also other terrible legal issues that are ongoing that you may be experiencing, such as what we just described here with this chart. If you are experiencing any disaster-related legal issues, please contact Legal Aid of North Carolina's Disaster Relief Project. You can call our helpline at 1-866-219-5262. Again, our project assists with consumer protection matters, such as contractor fraud or scams, property ownership issues, insurance claims, replacements of wills and other important legal documents, landlord-tenant problems, and appeals of FEMA decisions. The Disaster Relief Project has taken an initiative during the COVID-19 response to come up with some creative solutions on outreach, as we normally would go to community members and communities in person to be able to provide resources. We're unable to do that in-person contact at this time. So we have had a series of Facebook Live events through Legal Aid of North Carolina's Facebook page. Upcoming events will be at 4 p.m. on Wednesdays. There is an event later today with hurricane preparedness during a pandemic. Next week, we have Rebuild NC 101 and also Wills 101 the following week. And if you're unable to attend these live videos, all videos are posted to Legal Aid of North Carolina's Facebook page and YouTube channel after the presentation. Thank you so much for attending today's session. We hope that you stay safe and healthy during this time. And please contact Legal Aid of North Carolina if you need any legal assistance. You can apply by phone at 1-866-219-5262, or you can apply online by going to our website, www.legalaidnc.org. Thank you so much and stay well.